other. They're high-end competitors, etc., etc. But you've known they were coming for you when you were waving your hands in your face to mock Caitlin Clark when you were beating her for the national championship. And you also are old enough to know that in this society, whether they want to admit it or not, they don't like seeing somebody black coming at somebody white who is a beloved star of theirs. That's not the case with all. It's not the case with most. But those who screech the loudest get the most attention sometimes.
Though Stephen A. Smith addressed Caitlin Clark during a recent First Take segment, delivering commentary that appeared to reference Sheryl Swoopes without directly confronting her previous statements. The discussion centered around Clark's record-breaking three-point performance and her overall impact on the Indiana Fever organization. During the broadcast, Smith highlighted Clark's achievement of connecting on 3 shots from beyond the arc in the Fever's 84-80 victory against Connecticut Sun, bringing her season total to 88 three-pointers and establishing a new WNBA rookie milestone. When questioned about Clark's potential to become the league's greatest long-range shooter, Smith offered measured analysis.
But those who screech the loudest get the most attention sometimes. And that's what the worst of cynics and critics do. And so you knew they were going to come for you. You had to know that. Now, to the degree that they're doing so, I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from. But keep your spirits up, because you're at a decisive advantage, Angel Reese. You're at a decisive advantage because they made the mistake of letting you know who they are, whoever those people are. And now you have perfect justification.
The commentary revealed some uncertainty about whether Smith regularly follows WNBA games, as he appeared to reference prepared statistics rather than speaking from direct observation. His discussion included detailed numbers about Clark's recent performance streak, suggesting reliance on research materials rather than personal viewing experience. Regarding three-point shooting ability, analysis shows Clark's accuracy rates compare closely with Sabrina Ionescu, with less than 7% difference in their shooting percentages. The distinction lies in shot selection and circumstances. Players like Stephanie Dolson often receive open looks with significant space, while Clark leads the league in unassisted three-point attempts, indicating higher difficulty levels.
Whoever those people are. And now you have perfect justification for keeping people at bay and not letting people too close where they could potentially hurt you. It's something most people usually learn when they get older. You learned it younger, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. You're at an advantage. As for the Caitlin Clark fans she was alluding to, she ain't lying. It's not all, it's not most. A lot of them are fun-loving. A lot of them are great fans. A lot of them are great, great people. But some of them are racist.
Clark's shooting statistics mirror Stephen Curry's impact in terms of volume and degree of difficulty, though her wide-open shooting accuracy may not rank among the absolute best in the WNBA. However, her career trajectory suggests she could eventually hold the record for most three-pointers made, barring injury concerns. Smith emphasized Clark's recent statistical output over her last 10 games, averaging 22.2 points, 10.3 assists, 5.9 rebounds, and 1.5 steals. The Fever currently holds the 7th playoff position with a 15-16 record, posting a 4-1 mark since the Olympic break concluded and winning 6 of their last 8 contests dating back to mid-July.
But some of them are racist. Some of them don't want Angel Reese to be the one coming at her, and they use ethnicity as the rationale behind it. Again, very few compared to the many who wouldn't do that. But it is that kind of hate. I've seen it for years. I saw it when Allen Iverson was playing, and I was covering him every day. They saw it when Michael Jordan was on the come up. LeBron James, need I remind you?
The broadcaster acknowledged contributions from other team members while crediting Clark as the primary catalyst for Indianapolis's transformation. He noted the demanding schedule Clark faced, transitioning directly from NCAA tournament competition and championship game participation into professional basketball without adequate recovery time. The underlying tension with Swoopes remained present throughout Smith's commentary, though he avoided direct confrontation. This approach contrasts with his typical response pattern when facing personal criticism, suggesting calculated restraint in this particular situation. Analysis of Clark's systemic impact reveals deeper complexity than simple individual statistics. The Caitlin Clark system has transformed how teammates operate, particularly affecting players like Erica Wheeler, who has modified her playing style significantly since the Olympic break. Wheeler's transformation exemplifies the systemic changes. She has eliminated excessive dribbling patterns, increased movement without the ball, and improved decision-making speed. When Clark operates on the court, Wheeler actively seeks to facilitate ball movement and runs faster transitions, demonstrating how one player's approach can elevate entire team dynamics. Any professional competitor would accept that clipboard, absorb the tactical details, and attempt to contribute toward team victory. Angel Reese had different intentions. In what represents perhaps the most immature display in contemporary sports history, Reese aggressively struck that clipboard from Crosby's grasp. The situation deteriorated further when any rational individual would have immediately expressed regret. Any mature professional would have recognized their error and attempted reconciliation. Instead, Reese decided to escalate the controversy. Rather than displaying any remorse, she proceeded directly to social media and amplified the situation with a post that will be remembered as one of the most tone-deaf responses in sports history. Her message read that the officials were irritating her, while giving credit to Anne for understanding it was a heat-of-the-moment reaction and not allowing her to apologize, adding that such behavior wouldn't repeat. This tweet revealed everything problematic about Reese's mindset. First, she continued expressing anger about the situation. Second, she portrayed Anne Crosby, the actual victim, as somehow performing a service by refusing an apology. Third, she treated the entire incident like entertainment with casual emojis and dismissive tone. This wasn't accountability or genuine regret. This represented a player who was receiving negative attention and chose to worsen the situation. She transformed what should have been private personal growth into public display of immaturity. This incident wasn't isolated, but rather the latest in multiple meltdowns that have characterized Reese's professional career. Less than 2 days before the clipboard episode, she launched an unnecessary tirade against WNBA officials during what should have been routine post-game commentary, turning basketball discussion into personal therapy complete with profanity and threats. Stephen Smith's response elevated beyond simple criticism to complete annihilation. He didn't merely address Reese's tantrum, he systematically dismantled every aspect of her argument, conduct, and entire professional approach. His core message emphasized staying within appropriate boundaries, but his delivery method was absolutely devastating. Smith didn't limit his criticism to Reese individually, but attacked the broader culture of jealousy and unprofessionalism she embodies. He suggested she had been transforming every sideline into auditions for America's most envious teammate, expressing complete exhaustion with such behavior. Smith then targeted what he considered the heart of the issue. While Reese was destroying equipment and having social media breakdowns, he reminded audiences about the player actually revolutionizing the sport, Caitlin Clark. His evidence was overwhelming and precise. Smith described Clark not merely as a player, but as a mobile marketing phenomenon, a highlight compilation, and a franchise wearing sneakers. His assessment proved accurate. Clark didn't simply change the game, but completely rewrote expectations for WNBA potential. Statistical evidence supported Smith's arguments like ammunition. When Clark participates, WNBA viewership averages 1 point. This represents more than decline, it's systematic collapse, demonstrating the league's dependence on a single individual. Smith's frustration centered on players like Reese appearing more interested in emotional outbursts than recognizing the athlete single-handedly preserving their league. He criticized the organization for allowing Clark to absorb physical punishment nightly while officials ignored obvious violations. Instead of protecting their primary attraction, the league permitted targeting through elbows, cheap contact, and flagrant violations as if brutality was part of entertainment value. Players like Reese seemed more focused on sending messages than achieving victory. Their obsession with diminishing Clark caused them to neglect their own improvement. Consequently, when Clark suffered injury and missed significant marquee matchups, the entire league experienced the impact. Ticket costs declined, viewership numbers dropped, and merchandise sales stagnated. The connection Clark had established between college basketball enthusiasts and the WNBA suddenly required extensive repairs. Smith's response amounted to declaring his predictions validated at maximum volume for national consumption. The uncomfortable truth that Reese and her supporters refuse acknowledging involves character rather than isolated incidents or momentary reactions. Professional athletes don't merely represent themselves, but their teams, organizations, leagues, and sports entirely. Smith didn't simply criticize, but revealed fundamental flaws in her complete professional basketball approach. While Clark constructed bridges and attracted new audiences to the sport, Reese destroyed those connections through tantrums and social media rants. Most insulting was her victim mentality throughout the situation, suggesting officials targeted her unfairly, media coverage was biased, and everyone else created problems. Smith summarized perfectly: join the movement or face abandonment. The Caitlin Clark phenomenon continues advancing regardless of individual participation. Currently, Reese isn't contributing to that progress. She's not even involved. She remains stationary, shouting at leadership while others advance without her participation. The clipboard incident transcended poor judgment to become perfect symbolism for Reese's entire professional basketball approach: destructive, disrespectful, and ultimately counterproductive. Until she develops emotional control, respects teammates and staff, and prioritizes actual success through winning, she'll remain exactly what she's become: a perpetual headline generator for negative reasons. This controversy highlights broader questions about professional conduct, emotional maturity, and the responsibility athletes bear toward their sports and organizations when individual actions affect collective success.